As a kid, I'd have experiences seeing somebody in my bedroom. That didn't change as I got older. Often I would sense that someone was watching me. It became a regular part of my life, but it was still unnerving. My name is Paul Silliphant. Ever since I was a child, I've had experiences with the paranormal. I spent over 30 years peering into the darkness of the unknown, immersing myself deep into the strange and mysterious. Inspired by my own childhood experiences, I started seeking answers by investigating stories of ghosts and haunted locations. My mission has been to document occurrences of paranormal activity and search for the truth about what happens in the dark hours. Just east of Port Perry, Ontario, is the Scugog Shores Museum. The museum is a village representing what life was like in the area during the mid to late 1800s. Of the 11 buildings at Scugog Shores, only 2 are original to the site, the head church and the head school. Both of these have had reports of unsettling activity, as has the barn and the Lee House.
My name is Rosie, and I was a museum interpreter at Scugog Shores Museum for a year and a half.
My name is Lisa. I was a summer student museum interpreter at Scugog Shores Museum.
The schoolhouse is one of the newer buildings and is the first building you will enter when you visit the site. It has its fair share of paranormal activity.
One of the original buildings on the museum property is the schoolhouse. That was where we had our office, our washroom, our little break area, and we also had the actual schoolroom that was set up as a general store. Lots of things would happen in the schoolhouse. We would have the radio change songs, we would hear keys jingling, we'd hear kids laughing, we'd hear footsteps up the stairs from the basement into the schoolroom. We would hear mechanical sounds from the typewriters. On a day that we weren't open to the public, we were doing some cataloging of some old artifacts. Lisa was taking a break, so she was in the front area of the schoolhouse. I was in the schoolroom, and I was just looking at some of the old artifacts, cleaning them, when I heard the biggest door slam. I quickly ran to see what was happening because I thought someone had come in the schoolhouse, which wasn't supposed to happen as we were closed for the day.
Why'd you slam the door?
I didn't.
So it wasn't either one of us. We went to go inspect the door, and we noticed that the door was so heavy, and it wasn't windy outside, so it couldn't have been the wind. So until this day, we have no idea who opened and slammed the front door of the schoolhouse.
Rosie and I were getting ready for a school program that involved a loom making exercise for the students. And we were gathering the yarn.
Well, I was thinking because you've looked
And in the back corner, we have a basket with a bunch of yarn and knitting needles stuck in the yarn. We use it as like a prop with the kids.
And Rosie and I both witnessed this knitting needle pull out of the skein of yarn, drop on the floor, and roll to our feet.
That was the first time I've ever seen a physical object move towards me.
And I remember in that moment not knowing what exactly we saw. If this was some sort of mirage or a dream, it seemed like it was too creepy to be real. And I remember losing it internally. Like, my mind just went completely blank, and I thought, I just need to get out of this space.
I was in the office getting ready for the school group. I tried to open the door to get out, and it seemed like something was just pulling the door back, so I couldn't get out. Every time I pulled, I could see like the door open a little bit, just a little space, and then it would just be pulled back. I thought it was Lisa playing a joke on me.
Stop it, let me out!
I was yelling, "Get me out, let me out, it's not funny, you guys. Like, Lisa, let me out, it's not funny." Finally, the door opened. I ran outside the schoolhouse because I was really upset, and I noticed Lisa coming out of the Lee house. I was by myself in the schoolhouse when that happened. I don't know who was trying to lock me in the office, but it wasn't Lisa. We have a garden right behind the Lee house and beside our barn that's on the property. I was tending to the garden with Lisa. I heard these two men arguing.
Did you hear that?
Over there. Where's my mason jar?
Yeah.
Oh, they're up there. Come on. Let's get this thing loaded.
Is that from the barn?
Just going at it, like very, very loud, strong, dominant men's voices.
What should we do?
We should go check it out.
Come on, get it down in the tunnel. Yeah, well, you're annoying too, so I can get it.
So we decided to check the barn, which was kind of not very smart of us, especially two girls on a property by ourselves.
Out of the deal. I'm taking it all. Get out. This is my equipment. I don't care. I made
Hello?
it all.
Hello?
I paid you for your part of the deal, and I paid the rest.
Hey! No one's supposed to be in there.
Come on. Come on, one by one.
2, 3.
As soon as we opened the barn door, the voices stopped, and nobody was there. As we were in the barn, we heard the sound of horses walking on the wood floor. We got spooked out, so we quickly closed the barn door and left. Lisa and I later found out that where the barn had been built and originated from, when they lifted the barn to bring to Scugog Shores Museum, they had found tunnels for bootlegging. So maybe it was just a deal gone wrong, and two men are still angry at each other till this day.
It was spring cleaning day for the Lee house.
My coworker Lisa and I were doing a spring clean in the Lee house attic. The attic had a lot of kids' things, a lot of toys, little beds. This would have been the area where Rosina and Joseph's children would have slept.
I recall being reluctant to even step foot in the building. I knew I didn't want to be there. But I remember Rosie saying, we'll start in the attic, we'll work our way down, like, it'll be fine.
On this particular day, I noticed Lisa didn't seem herself. She looked a little ill.
The moment I got into the attic, I remember feeling very hot. I started to feel an overwhelming amount of warmth and just feeling uncomfortable. And I remember a headache immediately. And I remember pinching the bridge of my nose, thinking that, wow, this is such a strange feeling.
I asked her what was wrong.
Are you okay?
No. I really feel dizzy. I think I have to go outside.
And at that point, I told Rosie, look, I'm gonna go outside. I'm just gonna get some fresh air. I don't really want to be here anymore.
Okay.
If you're okay to stay up here, I'll do the windows.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll get some air.
Thanks.
So the moment I went outside, I thought, oh, this felt better, And I recall at that point grabbing a broom, and I thought, I'm gonna dust the window panes in the exterior of the house just to do something.
I continued to sweep up in the attic.
I dusted the living room exterior window, and then I moved to the kitchen. And I don't know how long she was standing there, but there was a point as I was cleaning the window where my eyesight went in towards the kitchen rather than looking at the exterior pane. And that's when I saw her. I screamed so loud and in a voice that was not my own, and I ran.
Lisa?
I remember running towards the schoolhouse, confused, not sure where I should turn to or what I should do. And the next thing I know, Rosie's by my side.
Are you okay? What happened?
The kitchen. She's in there.
Who's in the kitchen?
She is asleep.
Okay, come on, let's get out of here.
I've never ever seen her like this before.
I felt crazy. I felt like I didn't know what was going on or what just happened. And even as I told Rosie the story and reiterated exactly what took place, I still didn't believe it for myself.
The Head Memorial Church was built in 1860 and is original to the site. A few years ago, I was a part of a paranormal investigation in this church.
On this particular night, I was helping a paranormal group. We were in the church, in the back room that we call the weeping room. Now, this room would have been used to display the bodies at a funeral.
Is there anyone here with us? Can you make a noise? If there's anyone here, can you give us a sign? One of the tools we use during an investigation is an app that allows spirits to communicate using single words.
And they were using this app that would spit out words when a spirit was trying to get in contact with us.
Husband.
And
Husband.
the app started saying husband. And all of a sudden, I just felt this weight on my body. And I burst into tears. I felt like I lost someone in my life. I felt like a lot of dread. I was just devastated. And I remember being so heavy that I tried to get myself up, to stand up, and I couldn't. And Paul was there, and he noticed that I was in, like, I guess, a form of distress.
Are you okay?
So he helped me to my feet, and I just remember trying to carry my whole body basically because I couldn't walk.
Let's get you.
And he brought me outside, and it was like the snap of a finger. It just, this huge weight lifted off my body. And I asked him, I said, what happened in there? And he said to me, you just got really upset and like, you're safe now, it's okay. And I asked Paul if we could say a little prayer just to make myself feel a little bit better, and together we did. We said a prayer.
I'm okay. I'm fine.
Like, I truly cannot remember what happened in there, but it affected me like greatly.
The Scugog Shores Museum has a lot of activity. For me, it was the Lee House that provided the most compelling actual evidence of something paranormal. It was during one of our investigations there. I was in the Lee House alone, conducting an EVP session. So anyone here with us? EVP is electronic voice phenomena. Occasionally, you can pick up voices of spirits in an audio recording that you didn't hear live. Can you make a noise to let me know you're here? Mrs. Lee, if you're here, we're very sorry. We didn't mean to make such a mess in your house. We'll take our things and go. If someone else is here, can you identify yourself? It was only later, when I listened back to the recording, that I heard a female voice say something. Different people have different interpretations of what they think it said. I personally think it said Rosalind Lee. Others think it may be saying, "Are you with me?" or "Argue with me?"